Greetings, subscribers! If you're subscribed to my channel, then it's safe to say you're already familiar with Smallville, a TV show about young Clark Kent before becoming Superman, which ran from 2001 through 2011. And today, I'd just like to list 7 pieces of trivia about Smallville which you probably never knew. So I'll get started. Number 7. The house we saw as Lana Lang's home in early episodes was actually the very same house used for the Kents. The crew just used the other side of the house and painted it blue, temporarily, and filmed that. Number 6. Season 1's 16th episode, titled Stray, had a climax at a bowling alley. And in real life, the bowling alley which this was filmed at just happened to be called Lois Lane's. Yes, you heard that correctly. The alley was not named after the comic character Lois Lane. The similar names are purely coincidental. Number 5. Before filming the first episode of Smallville, actress Kristin Kreuk played the title role in a made-for-TV movie about Snow White. Despite the order things were shot in, this ended up airing after Smallville's first episode. But anyway, Kreuk had to have horseback riding lessons before the Snow White movie could start filming. Later, when Smallville was in its early stages, after the producers cast Kreuk as Lana, they learned that she had this horseback riding training. And with that in mind, plus the fact that Smallville was set in a small farm town, they decided to write it into the story that Lana would do a lot of horseback riding. Honestly, the character did not do as much horseback riding in later seasons, but she did do a lot of horse riding in the early seasons, and the writers put this in the stories based on the knowledge they had that Kreuk had this training for Snow White. Number 4. In Season 1's 6th episode, titled Hourglass, there was a scene in which Lex Luthor had a vision about his future, seeing himself as President of the United States in the White House. This scene was shot at the studio set of another TV series that had many scenes in the White House, The West Wing. Number 3. Season 3's 5th episode, titled Perry, dealt largely with solar flares. This episode was filmed months before its scheduled air date, October 29, 2003. And when that day came, by amazing coincidence, the Earth was struck with the largest solar flare in over 100 years. That is literally the number 1 biggest coincidence I've ever heard with any movie or any TV show in my life. Number 2. When the show was first casting Clark Kent, actor Brandon Routh auditioned for the role of young Clark, but the role obviously went to Tom Welling instead. Routh would of course later play Superman in Superman Returns, and later play the Atom on Legends, and eventually play Superman again in the Crisis crossover event. Personally, I just find it crazy to think that if Goff and Millar had given the role to Routh, he surely would not have refused to wear the suit for the series finale like Welling did. And this show could have had a much more fulfilling ending. And finally, number 1. In the earliest stages of Smallville's development, producers Al Goff and Miles Millar's original idea was for this to be a show about teenage Bruce Wayne. That's right, this was originally supposed to be a show about young Batman, not young Superman. But they could not get the rights for such a show, because WB was in early stages of developing a Batman movie, which would eventually become Batman Begins, and they did not feel it would be wise to release a Batman movie and Young Batman TV series simultaneously. Goff and Millar were told they could get the rights to do a show about young Superman, and decided to do that instead. Many years later, a different channel did give us the show Gotham, which had a young Bruce Wayne, but that was really focused more on Commissioner Gordon. And also, the young Bruce Wayne we saw there was probably much younger than what Goff and Millar had in mind for their show about teenage Bruce Wayne. Just how different would Goff and Millar's young Bruce Wayne show have been than Gotham? I can't say for sure, but I personally think pretty different. And that's basically it for today. There are 7 things you probably never knew about Smallville. But as always, I'd like to hear some feedback from you viewers. Did you find this video to be interesting? Or do you know of more Smallville trivia which you feel I should have included? Please leave it all in the comments below, and And if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more of my videos, then please feel free to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell. I would love to have you. Thank you.